Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
we can hear.
Ah,
Yes,
Yes,
we,
Prabhuji.
we are able to.
so in the last few weeks, before that, we have been discussing Dhruva Maharaj past time. Now, in order to talk about how, where, when Narada Muni spoke the glories of Dhruva in the assembly of Prachetas. So, to answer that, the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj is being described. So, in that lineage, there was a king Anga, he had a son Vena, and the difficulties caused by the kind of rule that Vena inflicted upon people, and how the sages killed him just by chanting Omkara mantra, and then seeing that the citizens are troubled by the thieves, the sages churned the legs of Vena. As a result of that, a dwarf boy was born, whom they named Bahuka as well as Nishada, and they told him to stay in the forest, never ever come to cities, because it represented the sinful portion of the mother. Then the effect of the performance of Vishnu Yajna by King Ganga appeared by churning the two hands of Vena as Pruthu and Archi. Then there was a coronation ceremony of Pruthu and Archi. For that ceremony, all the devatas, including Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Mother Lakshmi, Mother Saraswati, Mother Parvati, like that, everyone, all important devatas came. They presented wonderful gifts. After everything is over, at the end, the bards, Suta, Magada, Vandi, began to glorify Pruthu. Then Pruthu said, no, 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 please don't glorify me, because I just appeared, I have not done anything. When I do something, you please glorify me. So they said, no, 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 we have been ordered. And the King Pruthu told, see, whatever you may say, whether I may do or not, if I don't do, you will be subjected to sin. It is not good for you. Then says, no, no, you don't have to worry. You are the Supreme Lord. Then he says, no, no, I am not the Supreme Lord. If at all you want to glorify, glorify about the Supreme Lord. Then they said, we are trying to do the same thing. So in any case, he said, no gentleman wants to hear his own glories. Every gentleman always wants to hear the glories of Supreme Lord. That is more appropriate. Like that, he humbly submitted his plea. Afterwards, what happened? How did the bards, so Magada Vandi, continue to glorify the glories of Pruthu Maharaj? That is the subject matter of this chapter. This entire chapter is all about the glories of Pruthu. Basically, what he is going to do in the future, they are telling in advance only. Just like when a person is born, the Jatakarma ceremony is performed, and then the birth chart is prepared, and based on the birth chart, the person will read the future of this child, what the child is going to do. Just like we hear about Prabhupada, when Prabhupada was the Jatakarma ceremony was performed, and they read the Panchanga and everything based on this Janmatiti. And that time only it is predicted. This person will be a special person. He will take sannyas. He will travel all over the world and he will establish so many temples. All these things were already broadcasted at the time of birth. Even Bhagavatam first canto we saw when Parishit Maharaj was born on the first day. So the Jadakarma ceremony performed and the future was read. Everything was said that he will be cursed by Shemika Rishi's son, and he will be taken Payobhavresha. That time Sukadeva Goswami will come and speak Bhagavatam for 7 days. Everything is known in advance. So it's like that. Devotees kindly mute. So if you are not speaking, kindly mute. So now let us see what Pruthu Maharaj is going to do. So hearing these glories, Parikshit Maharaj will ask some questions. Kaise hua? Hey, how did this happen? That's how the discussion will go on. So very interesting discussion now. In the 16th chapter, the bards, Suta Magada Vangdi, ordered by the sages, praise King Pruthu, describing how he would milk the earth in the future. That Pruthu Maharaj is going to milk Mother Earth. in the form of a cow. So that they will tell everything about it. They will tell when our Vidura asks, please tell me in detail. Then the discussion goes in detail.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. That
Yes, Mataji.
Pruthu Maharaj, he is that example of that Navavida Bhakti me Archanam, no?
Yes, yes. He is an example of
All other
Archanam.
stories we know that only the Pruthu story we don't know. That comes in this now.
Yes, yes.
How
This
he
Pruthu
is.
only. This Pruthu is example of Archanam. Yes, perfect.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Correct. So about 27 verses are there. So they will glorify the wonderful acts of Pruthu. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Iti Bruvanam Rupatim.
Iti Bruvanam Nripatim.
Gayaka Munichodita.
Gayaka Munichodita.
Tushtuvustushta Manasas.
Tushtuvustushta Manasas.
Tadvag Amruta Sevaya.
Tadbhag Amruta Sevaya. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued. While King Pruthu thus spoke, the humility of his nectarian speeches pleased the reciters very much. Then again they continued to praise the king highly with exalted prayers as they had been instructed by the great sages.
Maitreya is saying that the singers, Suta Magada Vande, pleased by King Pruthu's sweet words, then continued to praise Pruthu, who had just spoken as ordered by the sages. Munichodita. Even though Pruthu said, no, don't talk about me. But the sages in the assembly, they said, the king out of modesty will say, but we are telling you continue. The sages ordered. So the bards considered sages order more important and then continue to glorify. Obviously, king will not allow anybody to glorify himself. So, but our sages said, no problem, you do. We'll take care. Because the king cannot say anything to the sages. What he will say. So that's why they took the liberty and requested gods to glorify, and they began to glorify. Nalam vayante mahimanuvarnane.
Nalam vayante mahimanuvarnane.
Yo deva varyo vatatara mayaya.
Yo deva varyo vatatara mayaya.
Venanga jastasya chapurushanite.
Venanga jatasya cha purushanite.
Vachaspatinam api barhamurdiya.
Vachaspatinam api babramurdiya. Translation. The reciters continued. Dear King, you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, and by his causeless mercy, you have descended on this earth. Therefore, it is not possible for us to actually glorify your exalted activities. Although you have appeared through the body of King Vena, even great orators and speakers like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot exactly describe the glorious activities of your Lordship.
We are not capable of describing the glories of you, O King, the best of the Devatas, who appear in this world by your mercy. It is your mercy that you appeared in this world, and your glories we cannot sufficiently glorify. So, like that, they are saying. The intelligence of eloquent persons, such as Brahma, has become bewildered by the activities of you, born from the limb of Vena. Even Lord Brahma, just by understanding what wonderful activities you are going to do, he was bewildered. Then we getting bewildered is not at all astonishing. We can't even glorify sufficiently because you are going to perform such a wonderful activities. So like that. They began to glorify, saying that your glories we cannot glorify you properly. Even Brahma feels inadequate himself. So like that. We are not capable. Na alam. Maya means by Lord's mercy. Along with your Shakti, Archi. So Maya has two meanings. Avatara Maya means you appeared along with
Hare
your
Krishna,
Lord's
Prabhuji,
mercy.
can't hear anything.
Hare Krishna. Now you can hear.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
we
we
can hear
can hear.
properly.
We
Yes,
can
yes,
hear
Prabhuji.
properly. We can hear properly. I can hear properly. I can hear, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay.
I can also
Mataji,
hear,
maybe you can re-log in your device. Yeah. Whoever is not hearing. So Maya means Avatara Maya means the Supreme Lord appeared along with his compassion. Another meaning is the Supreme Lord appeared along with his consort, Mother Archi. So like that. The intelligence of Brahma is bewildered by your activities. Even the intelligence of Brahma will be is already bewildered. Because Brahma is the one who because Brahma is the best of Brahmanas. It is he saw your birth chart and he informed the sages, he informed us, and Brahma is bewildered by looking at your birth chart. So why can't we be bewildered? It's like that. But still, we want to glorify you. Even though we are bewildered, even though we are inadequate in glorifying you, but we make an attempt to glorify you. So like that it says. Atapudara Shrevasa Prutorhare.
अथापि उदारा स्रवशा प्रतोर्हरे
Kalavatarasya Katamrutadrutah.
कालावतास्रास्य कथामृता धृता
Yetopadesham Munubi Prachodita.
यतोपदेशं मुनिभिः प्रचोदिता
Shlagyani Karmani Vayam Vitanmahi.
श्लाघ्यानि कर्माणि वयं वितान्महे. Although we are unable to glorify you adequately, we nonetheless have a transcendental taste for glorifying your activities. We shall try to glorify you according to the instructions received from authoritative sages and scholars. Whatever we speak, however, is always inadequate and very insignificant. Dear King, because you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all your activities are liberal and ever laudable.
Yeah. Still eager for the sweetness of your topics, encouraged by the sages, we will now describe as instructed the praiseworthy pastimes of most famous Pruthu, a portion of the Supreme Lord. Still they are continuing saying that eager to glorify your wonderful activities, encouraged by the sages, we are trying to glorify you. Even though when we are trying to glorify you, said no, but sages are ordered us, so we cannot stop. We have to glorify you. Whose glories we are glorifying? The most famous King Pruthu. Udara Shravasa Pruthu. Sadharan Manush nahi. Udara Shravasa. The great person, the most famous person. So in that way. In the first canto, third chapter, there was a discussion about the different avatars of Supreme Lord. So in that Pruthu was also mentioned. At the end, Acharya says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom we call Bhagavan, Bhagavan is he who possesses 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashashasriya Jnana Vairagya Yoschaiva Sannambaga Itingana. That person who possesses Aishwarya, Virya, Yasha, Jnana, Vairagya, etc. All these 6 opulences, whoever has it unlimitedly, fully, that person is called Bhagavan. So one among them is Yasha, fame. So those avatars which come under the category of Yasha is Pruthu. Pruthu is one of those avatars which are under the category of Pruthu. That's why Pruthu is called as Pruthu-shrava. Pruthu-shrava means whose glories are always heard. People continuously hear the glories of King Pruthu. So like that. The sages have entered our hearts, and according to their instructions only, we will offer praises. So, my dear king, these praises are not our praises. The sages themselves entered into our heart because they can't glorify as they are. The glorification is the responsibility of the gods. It is the sages who can't wait. They want to glorify you. So, they have entered into us and they haunted us, and it is they who are speaking all these glories of your wonderful personality. So, like that. So they actually put the blame on sages. We are not speaking anything. It is the sages who entered. It is the sages who gave us order. Still, we are afraid. It is the sages who entered into us, and they themselves are speaking. So like that. Esha dharma brutam sheshto.
Esha dharma vratam sreshto
Lokam dharmenu vartayan.
lokam dharmenu vartayan
Gopta cha dharma setunam.
Gopta cha dharma setunam
Shasta tat paripantinam.
Sasta tat paripantinam. The king Maharaj Pruthu is the best amongst those who are following religious principles. As such, he will engage everyone in the pursuit of religious principles and give those principles all protection. He will also be a great chastiser to the irreligious and atheistic.
King Pruthu, the best upholders of Dharma, Esha Dharma Brutam Shrestha. Among those people who protect, establish, and follow Dharma is best. The protector of the principles of Dharma, Gopta cha Dharma Setunam. Lord Rama also is said to be Dharma Setu, Maryada Purushottam. So same way, Pruthu Maharaj. The punisher of the oppressors of Dharma, Shasta Tat Paripantinam. So he does not wait to punish the Adharma Vartinas. So like that. The punisher of the oppressors of Dharma. He engages the world in Dharma. He not only follows Dharma, he makes sure that everyone follows Dharma. Later on, we'll see in one chapter where Pruthu Maharaj will be instructing his citizens. He will say that I myself a sinful person, being a king. I don't have any hope for my deliverance. All of you devatas, brahmanas, and citizens are all great devotees. It is said that whatever the citizens do, 1/6 of that will come to the king. Somehow or other, even though I am not qualified, all of you have selected me as your king. And the Shastra says that whatever is done by the citizens, 1/6 of that will come to the king. I myself is a sinful person. So I humbly request all of you to practice bhakti. If all of you practice bhakti, 1/6 of that bhakti will come to me. So then there is a chance of my own deliverance. So like that, he actually requests the people. He actually submits to the assembly sages and assembled brahmanas and assembled people, citizens, saying that I humbly request all of you to kindly practice bhakti. If you practice bhakti, there is a hope for my deliverance. That's why he is Dharma Bhrutam Shrestha and Dharme Anuvartinam and Dharma Sethi. That's why he is all of these things. At this point, we will discuss in chapter 12, not 12. Yeah, maybe 12. So maybe now or in one of the, not 12, in one of the future chapters, maybe 22. That time it will come. So that time we will discuss in detail. But that is the kind of nature the Pruthu Maharaj had. So obviously we will engage everyone in Dharma and Bhakti. When the king politely, humbly request the citizens, why would not the citizens practice and follow? Definitely they'll practice and follow. So Esha vai lokapalanam
केशवैलोकपालानां
Vivarti ekastanutanu
विवर्ति एकस्तनूतनु
Kale kale yatavagam
काले काले यथा भागम्
Lokayorupayorhitam
लोकयोरुभयोर्हितम्. Translation: Each alone in his own body will be able to due course of time to maintain all living entities and keep them in a pleasant condition by manifesting himself as different demigod to perform various departmental activities. Thus, he will maintain the upper planetary system by inducing the populace to perform Vedic sacrifices. In due course of time, he will also maintain his earthly planet by discharging proper rainfall. Hare Krishna.
For their prosperity, he alone maintains the bodies of the devatas within his own form for the benefit of this world and the heavenly abode at all times. So just like previous chapter Veena said, all the devatas are in me. If you worship me, all the devatas are worshipped. Like that Veena said. But Pruthu says that since devatas are all there within his form, as Shastra says, he worked for the welfare and for the maintenance of these devatas. His entire life is to maintain the devatas. So like that in that case. For their prosperity, he alone maintains the bodies of the devatas within his own form for the benefit of this world and the heavenly abode at all times. And for the welfare of the heaven, for the welfare of the earth, he takes care of the devatas by his worship, by his services, by his activities. He maintains the devatas so that they will provide all the prosperity and natural resources to all the human beings. So in that way. He alone maintains the devatas for the benefit of Svarga through spreading performance of sacrifice. He continuously and again and again performs more and more sacrifices. As a result of the devatas are maintained for the benefit of the earth by arranging rainfall So when he takes care of Devatas, Devatas will provide sufficient rainfall. As a result of that, the people on the earth become prosperous. And also, in order to provide other facilities for their prosperity. So like that. So he will perform sacrifices more and more. As a result of that, Devatas are nourished, and people on the earth will be nourished by rainfall and other natural resources. They become prosperous. Bhagam means prosperity, desire, greatness, power, gem, the sun, and fame, according to the Amarakosha dictionary. So here it is there na kale kale yata bhagam. So the different meanings of bhagam is, the meaning of bhagam has many things, but here the meaning is taken as prosperity, desire, etc. So the sun and fame according to Amarakosha. 8 verses describe how Pruthu maintains the sun and other deities. So how sun maintains all the devatas who are inside his body, who said to be residing in his body, how all these devatas are maintained. Now, next 8 verses will talk about all these things. 8 verses describe how Pruthu maintained the sun and other deities. Who are the deities? Sun, earth, Indra, moon, Varuna, Agni, Vayu, and Paramatma. Total 8 personalities. How does he maintain all of them? That will be described now verse by verse. Vasu Kala Upadatte.
Vasu Kala Upadatte
Kale Chayam Vimunchati.
Kale Chayam Vimunchati
Samas Sarveshu Bhuteshu.
Tamah Sarveshu Bhuteshu
Pratapan Suryavat Vibhu.
Pratapan Suryavat Vibhu. The king Pruthu will be as powerful as the sun god. And just as the sun god equally distributes his sunshine to everyone, King Pruthu will distribute his mercy equally. Similarly, just as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months and during the rainy season returns it profusely, this king will also exact taxes from the citizens and return these monies in times of need.
So one by one, the different devatas. Equal to all beings, powerful Pruthu, shining like the sun, levies taxes at the appropriate time and releases funds at the appropriate time. Just like sun produces sunlight all over, collects water in the form of moisture and vapor, forms clouds, and also causes rain. So through his rays, he collects water and makes clouds, and then he produces again. Same way, King Pruthu collects the taxes and maintains the citizens. So like that. He receives wealth when leaving taxes and releases wealth in times of famine. Just as the sun for 8 months evaporates water and then during monsoon season releases water. So just as sun he acts. How the sun is acting in this world, similarly he acts and does the needful. So in that way. Titikshasi akramam. Titikshasi akramam venya.
Titikshati akramam vainya
Upari akramataamapi.
upari akramatam api
Bhutanam karuna shashvad.
bhutanam karuna shashvad
Artanam kshitividdiman.
artanam kshiti vrittiman. The King Pruthu will be very, very kind to all citizens Even though a poor person may trample over the king's head by violating the rules and regulations, the king, out of his costless mercy, will be forgetful and forgiving. As the protector of the world, he will be as tolerant as the earth itself.
Like the earth, he tolerates when opposing parties disrespect him and is always merciful to the suffering people. So, clear. Mother Earth tolerates everyone, being kind of, even though we may respect her, we may not respect her, but she tolerates all of us. Similarly, and she is merciful to all of us. She provides food for everyone. She will not say that this person is food, I will not provide any food for him. Not like that. Same way, the king, like a mother, takes care of all the citizens. He tolerates violations of the citizens. He has the nature of Mother Earth. Shiti Vittiman, showing that. So like sun, he collects taxes and provides everyone when they are in need. Like Mother Earth, he tolerates everyone's shortcomings. So देवे वर्ष्यति असौ देवो
देवे वर्षति असौ देवो
नरदेवा वपुर्हरिः
नरदेवा वपुर्हरिः
कृच्छ्रप्राणा प्रजा ह्येषा
कृच्छ्रप्राणाः प्रजा ह्येषा
रक्षिष्यति अंजसेन्द्रवत्
रक्षिष्यति अंजसेन्द्रवत्. When there is no rainfall and the citizens are in great danger due to the scarcity of water, this royal personality of God will be able to supply rains exactly like the heavenly king Indra. Thus, he will very easily be able to protect the citizens from drought.
When the devatas do not give rain, the Lord in a king's body, like Indra, will protect the suffering citizens easily by supplying rain. So, he said that even if devatas stop raining timely, you by your potency will provide rain to the people, like just like Indra. Indra on his own can provide rain whenever he wants. Same way, you are like Indra can provide rain whenever you want. He will protect the citizens by supplying the rain himself, like Indra. So like basically, he will take care of the people himself. So like आप्यायति असौ लोकम्
आप्यायति असौ लोकम्
वदनामृतमूर्तिना
वदनामृतमूर्तिना
सानुरागावलोकेन
सानुरागावलोकेन
विशदास्मितचारुणा
विशदास्मितचारुणा. The king Pruthu Maharaja, by virtue of his affectionate glances and beautiful moon-like face, which is always smiling with great affection for the citizens, will enhance everyone's peaceful life.
So next, he pleases the world by his moon-like face. The moon is beautiful to look at. Same way, his face is beautiful to look at. Thus, everyone will be happy by looking at him. By his affectionate glance and by his charming, cheerful smile. All these things very much attractive. Whoever just by looking at the Lord will be completely pleased. Just by looking at the full moon and the full moon night. So like that. Apyayati asau lokam vadanamruta murtina. So the face, in that face, affectionate glance, and then charming, cheerful smile. All these things pleases the onlookers. His face is like the moon. This verse explains how he holds the body of the moon within himself. So he is having a beautiful face like the moon. Just like on the full moon day, people want to look at moon again and again. His face is also like. Next verse. Avyaktavartmaish nigodakaryo.
अव्यक्तवर्तमांस निगूढकार्यो
गंभीरवेदा उपगुप्तवित्तः.
गम्भीरवेद उपगुप्तवित्तः
अनन्तमाहात्म्यगुणैकधामा.
अनन्तमाहात्म्यगुणैकधामा
पृथु प्रचेता इव संवृतात्मा.
ऋतु प्रचेता इव संवृतात्मा. The reciter continued, no one will be able to understand the policies the king will follow. His activity will also be very confidential, and it will be not possible for anyone to know how he will make every activity successful. His treasury will always remain unknown to everyone. He will be the reservoir of unlimited glories and good qualities, and his position will be maintained and covered just as a Varuna, the deity of the seas, is covered all around by water. Hare Krishna.
His paths of entry and exit are unknown. The results of his actions are not known before they manifest. So basically, he does many things confidentially. What he is doing, why he is doing will be understood by the results. Then one can understand. His intentions and actions are unclean. Unclear. So what he thinks and what he does are not known to people. His wealth and knowledge are very secret. He keeps his knowledge and wealth is very secret. Because how knowledgeable is he, no one can understand. He does not speak unnecessarily. Only when necessary he speaks. That's why whatever he knows, people do not know unless only he speaks. So he speaks very carefully. So in that way. He has the greatness, qualities, and superior strength of Lord Vishnu. Ananta Mahatma Guna Ekadama. Just like Lord Vishnu is so powerful, he is also so powerful. King Pruthu, like Varuna, covers his wonderful active qualities. Just like Lord Varuna hides the wealth of the Devatas deep within the ocean. Similarly, all the wonderful qualities like the knowledge, purpose, and also intentions, everything he keeps very secretly. Things are not open, matlab, he does not speak so much, he does not showcase himself so much. He is very reserved. Just like Varuna contains so much and this appears as if he has nothing. Similarly, he possesses so many wonderful qualities, but he displays himself as if innocent. So like that. The path of entering and leaving is not clear. The effects of his acts are not known before they manifest. His intentions in doing something are unknown to others. So he basically, so very reserved and very careful person. So his wealth and knowledge are very secret. He has the greatness and qualities like that of Lord Vishnu. His nature is unseen by others like Varuna. The above qualities are seen in Varuna at the controller of the ocean. The ocean possesses all the ocean appliances inside deep within. It does not bring them up to the surface just like that. So Durasado Durvisaha Durasado Durvisaha
Durasado Durvishaha
Asannopi Viduravat
Asannopi Viduravat
Naivabi Bhavat Bhavitam Shakyo
Naivabi Bhavitum Shakyo
Venarani Utito Nalaha.
Venarani Utito Nalaha. King Pruthu was born of the dead body of King Vena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus King Pruthu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Pruthu.
So the next quality of Prithu is his enemies cannot approach, and if they do, if they approach him, they cannot tolerate his strength. First of all, hearing Prithu's name, the enemies will surrender and go away. If at all somebody unknowing his power comes and stands in front of him, they can't stand for long. He's so skilled. So no one can stand in front of him, just like Ramchandra. Though present, he seems to be far away. Though he is next to us, but he is inside himself only. And he seems to be very, very, very far. So like that. He cannot be conquered. So as we were, he cannot be conquered. As we were saying that he's so skilled person, no one can stand in front of him. So how can somebody conquer him? Definitely it is not. He is like fire arising from the Arani wood of Vena. So this person is not born like a normal child. He is born from the churning of the two hands of Vena. Just like in the past, they were never having matchboxes or lighter, etc. So in order to produce fire, now we use matchbox or lighter, something like that. But in those days, previously, they used to use two Arni sticks. So they rub them continuously. By rubbing in between, the spark would produce. That spark would burn the Arni wood, and eventually fire would produce, and that fire will be kept inside the Yajna. He is not near the evil enemies, and when close, he is intolerable to them. Basically, no enemies would move around him. If at all they come in front of him, they can't tolerate his strength, his skill. The best of enemies cannot tolerate him. That means the most powerful enemy also cannot stand in front of him. He arose from churning the Arni wood in the form of Vena. Sorry. So here the understanding is fire. Fire, who want to go near fire? No one. If at all somebody goes near, how long they will stay next to the fire? Not for a long time. Because in no time, the fire will burn the person. And who can conquer fire? With our earthly body, no one can conquer fire. Everyone has to surrender to the fire. Same way, the Supreme Lord, Pruthu, is that powerful. Is as powerful as Agni. So like that. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow. Any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji, okay.
Other devotees?
Yes,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes, Prabhuji. Hare-
Prabhuji, in 7th श्लोका महाराज पृथु जो है वो जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस को वायलेट करते हैं उनको क्षमा कर देते हैं, क्षमा करके उनको छोड़ देते हैं. बट पहले कहा गया कि वो जो एथिस्ट है, जो रिलीजियस है, उनको पनिशमेंट देते हैं. वो दोनों अलग है क्या प्रभु? जो रूल्स वायलेट करते हैं.
When the opposing parties disrespect him and is always merciful to the suffering people. Okay. He tolerates when opposing parties disrespect him. So basically, see, it is not that you always have to fight, defeat, and kill them. Initially, if some enemy party knowingly or unknowingly criticizes him, he does not revolt immediately. He tolerates like a mother, because for a king, another king can be an enemy king. But for the Supreme Lord, who is enemy? Even to enemy also, Supreme Lord will have compassion. But if it is required to fight, then he will fight. When he fights, no one can stand in front of him. So like that. For criticism, it tolerates, not for fight. So, in that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Antarbahishcha bhutanam
अंतर्बहिश्च भूतानां
pashyan karmani charanai
पश्यन् कर्माणि चारणैः
udasina ivadyaksho
उदासीन इवाध्यक्षो
vayur atmeva dehinam.
वायुरात्मेव देहिनाम्. King Pruthu will be able to see all the internal and external activities of every one of his citizens. Still, no one will be able to know his system of espionage, and he himself will remain neutral regarding all matters of glorification or vilification paid to him. He will be exactly like air, the life force within the body, which is exhibited internally and externally, but is always neutral to all affairs.
Seeing all actions of all beings, internally and externally, by spice, he will seem to be unattached. So basically, in his outlook appearance, he seems that he does not know anything about anybody. He behaves as if he does not know anything about anybody. External outlook. But actually, he knows everything about everyone through his spice. Internally, secretly, the spice will bring the message of all the people, how things are happening everywhere. He knows everything. When the people come in front of him, he behaves as if he does not know anything. So like that. That is his greatness. He is like Sutratma. That means Vayu, Pranavayu. The thread pervading the universe. He is the superintendent, like the Antaryami. Just like Paramatma inside the heart knows everything inside and outside and remains Udasina. Udasina, Vadasina. Aham Bharta Prabhu Sakshi. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrut Prabhava Pralayasthanam. So, like that. He is Paramatma. As Paramatma, he remains in the core of the heart, he knows everything inside and outside, and yet he remains as if he does not know anything, indifferent. So like that. Seeing by behavior and spice, he will be unattached. Though attached to his servants and ministers, he will appear to them to be unattached. Though he is attached to all the citizens, people, and his army and everyone, but in the external appearance, he appears to be, he behaves like as if he is not attached to anybody. That is the greatness of King Pruthu. So, like that. So when he appears to be unattached to anybody, that is his nature, his behavior of equanimity. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya. That quality of Supreme Lord is represented. But he knows everything about everyone, what they are doing, how they are doing, etc. That is Bhagavan. Maite techu chapyaham. So in that. Thus, 8 verses describe how Pruthu maintains the sun and other deities. The sun, earth, Indra, moon, Varuna, Agni, Vayu, and Paramatma. So what the 8 devatas are doing, he does all those activities, and by that he maintains all the devatas. So like that. This is the greatness of King Pruthu. Then let us see what else he did. So in order to rule the kingdom, he acts like all these Lokapalas, the wonderful devatas who are looking after the entire maintenance of the universe. So then now, other qualities and other activities. Na dandyam dandayatyesha.
Na dandyam dandayatisya.
Sutam atma dvisham api.
Sutam atma dvisham api.
Dandayati atmajam api.
Dandayati atmajam api.
Dharmapate stitaha.
Dandyam dharmapate stitaha. Since this king will always remain on the path of piety, he will be neutral to both his son and the son of his enemy. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him.
If his enemy's son is situated in Dharma, he will not punish that person. If his own son deserves punishment, he'll punish him. So he does not see that, oh, he is my person, he can do anything. He is not my person, whatever he does, it is wrong. Not like that. Even if his enemy's son, if he does wrong, when he does right, he'll be respected. If he does wrong, he will be punished. Similarly, even if his own son does something wrong, if that is punishable offense, he will punish without looking backward. That kind of dharma palana he possesses. Asya pratihatam chakram.
Asya pratihatam chakram.
Prutor atmana sachalat.
Prator amana shachalat.
Sorry. Vartate bhagavan arko.
Vartate bhagavan arko.
Yavat tapati gogane.
Yavat tapati goganai. Just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic region without impedance. The influence of King Pruthu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic region and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives.
As far as the sun shines, that means as long as the sun rays go with his rays, the jurisdiction of Pruthu will remain unimpeded up to Manasutra mountain. That means the entire Bhumandala is under the supervision of King Pruthu. King Pruthu will be ruling over the entire Bhumandala. All over Bhumandala, his ruling is there. Showing that way. Chakram means his order, his army, or the wheel of his chariot. His influence will spread up to Manasutra mountain. What extent is that? It is as far as the sun rays extend. So on the Bhumandala, there is a bigger Bhumandala which we will read the fifth canto. In the Bhumandala, there is Manasutra mountain. Until then, Pruthu Maharaja's rule will be there. Throughout area is under his rule. Basically, he is ruling over the entire Bhumandala. We will see in the fifth canto what is Bhumandala now. So, in that way. That means his rule is ruling the entire Bhuloka. Whole Bhuloka is being ruled by Pruthu Maharaj. Okay. Rajayishyati yallokam.
Ranjayishyati lokam.
Ranjayishyati yallokam.
Ranjayishyati lokam.
Ayam Atma Vicheshtitai.
Ayam Atma Visheshtitai.
Atamum Ahurajanam.
Atamum Ahurajanam.
Manoranjana Kai Praja.
Manoranjana Kai Praja. The king will please everyone by his practical activities, and all of his citizens will remain very satisfied. Because of this, the citizens will take great satisfaction in accepting him as their ruling king.
Because they will please Ranjeshati, because they will please the entire world by his wonderful activities, which are pleasing to the mind, the citizens will call him King, Raja. Raja means Ranjayishyati iti Raja. So that person, he who takes care of all people, he who satisfies everyone, is known as King. That's why he is the king. He pleases, he takes care of everyone. That's why everyone will be happily call him as king. Because the world will be pleased by his wonderful acts, which give happiness to the mind. They will call him as king, Raja, Ranjayati. Ranjayati iti Raja. So he who pleases the minds of each and every citizen, such a person is known as Raja. Raja is derived in two ways. Some say Raja comes from Rajati, he shines. However, here it is said that Raja comes from Ranjayati. He attracts or pleases the people. So he is very simple and is very, he is pleasing to look at. His words are also very pleasing to hear, and his behavior, dealing, they are very much pleasing. So everyone will be pleased by him. So they are very happy to call him as Raja. So in that. Dhrudavratah Satyasandho
दृढव्रतः सत्यसन्धो
Brahmanyo Vruddhasevakaha
ब्राह्मण्यो वृद्धसेवकः
Sharanya Sarvabhutanam
शरण्यः सर्वभूतानां
Manado Dinavastala.
मानदो दीनवत्सलः. The king will be firmly determined and always situated in truth. He will be a lover of the Brahminical culture. and will render all service to old men and give shelter to all surrendered souls, giving respect to all. He will always be merciful to the poor and innocent.
He will be fixed in his vows. Drudavrata. So whatever vows an individual person will think, he will take, he'll follow them perfectly. True to his promise, Satyasandhu, whatever promises he takes, he'll follow up to the mark. Respectful to Brahmanas and elders. Brahmanyo Vruddha Sevaka. Brahmanas and elders is always ready to serve them. He is the protector of all beings. Charanya Sarvabhutana. He is like able master of all living entities. Whoever surrender to him, he will protect them very respectfully. And Manada, giving respect to all beings. Even though he is the king, he is the topmost person, but he respects everyone. He does not behave proudly that I am the king, I am the master, not like that. Instead, he respects everyone as they deserve. And he is kind to the suffering. Dhinavastava. So these are his wonderful qualities and wonderful traits that he possesses. Satyasandho means true to his promise. He will be true to spiritual vows and everyday promises. That means whatever he undertakes, vows and promises, he'll follow them very strictly and diligently. That is the difference. So in that way. Satyasandha means true to his promise, and Drudavrata means he will be true to his scriptural vows. Drudavrata means, and that means personally one who takes vows for one one's spiritual growth. And Satyasandha is in relation to his kingly duties, etc. Next, few other wonderful qualities of Prithu Maharaj. Matrubhakti parasrishu.
Matrubhakti parasrisu strisu
Patnyam ardhaiva atmanaha.
patnyam ardha ivatmanaha
Prajasu pitruvat snigdha.
prajasu pitrubatnigdha
Kinkaro brahmavadinam.
Tinkaro Brahmavadinam. Translation. The king will respect all women as if they were his own mother, and he will treat his own wife as the other half of his body. He will be just like an affectionate father to his citizens, and he will treat himself as the most obedient servant of the devotee who always preach the glories of the Lord.
He will treat other women as his mother and have affection for his one wife as if she were half of his body. Basically, Matru Bhakti Parasreshu. He will treat each and every woman as his own mother, and he will consider his own wife as half of his body. That means he will respect, just like he will respect himself, he will respect his wife also. So that is the kind of respect he will show to his wife as well as to other ladies, treating them as his own mother. He will treat his wife as himself. He will treat all the ladies as his own mother. So in that way, he will have affection like a father for the citizens. Prajashu Pitruvasnigdha. For the ladies, he is like the son. He will treat them as mother. For the gents, he will treat them as their father. He will have affection like a father for the citizens. He will be a servant of the followers of the Vedas. Kinkaro Brahmavadinam. For the Brahmanas, he is ready to serve them in all respects. So this is how he deals with the people. For ladies, he treats them like his mother, he treats them as his mother. His own wife he will respect like himself. For citizens in general, He will respect. He will take care of them like like a father. And for the brahmanas, he'll serve them like their student, like a servant. So in that way, he'll be affectionate to his wife as if she were half of his body, as if she is not different from himself. So that's the kind of respect he'll show to his wife. So different wonderful qualities of Pruthu Maharaj are mentioned. Matruvat paradareshu paradraveshu lostravat atmavas sarvabhuteshu ya pashyati sapanditaha. He is a pandita. Why? Because the pandita is the one who treats every woman as one's own mother, except one's own wife, all women. And paradraveshu lostravat, the wealth of others to be like stone or pebble or mud. Atmavas sarvabhuteshu, and respects everyone like he respects himself. Such a person is known as Pandita. So in that way. Dehinam atmavat preshtaha.
Dehinam atmavat preshtaha.
Suhrudam nandivardanaha.
Suhridam nandivardanaha.
Mukta sangha prasangoyam.
Sasanga prasangoyam.
Dandapanir asadusho.
Dandapanir asadushu. The king will consider all embodied living entities as dear as his own self, and he will always be increasing the pleasures of his friends. He will intimately associate with liberated persons, and he will be a chastising hand to all impious persons.
Atmavas sarvabhuteshu. That line is coming here. Dehinam atmavat preshtaha. He will consider all beings as himself. And he will increase the joy of his friends. So Hrudam Nandi Vardhanam. Anandi Vardhanam. So whoever is friends, so he will make sure that they'll be more and more happy. Take association of the detached. Mukta Sangha Prasangoyam. He will take the association of the detached sadhus, the sannyasis, etc., etc., and punish the wicked. Being a king, he will punish the wicked people appropriately. Not cruelly, but appropriately, so that they will not do such mistakes again. He will increase happiness in friends. He will take association of the materially detached person. That means sadhus, great sages, etc., etc. And then the last two words of this section. Ayam tu sakshat bhagavam tradisha.
Ayam tu sakshat bhagavam stri avisha.
Kutastha atma kalayavatindra kavalayatirna.
Kutastha atma kalayavatirnah.
Yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam.
Yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam.
Pashyanti nanattvamapi pratitam.
Pashyanti nanattvamapi pratitam. The king is the master of three worlds, and he is directly empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is without change, and he is an incarnation of the Supreme, known as a Shaktiavesh avatar, being a liberated soul and completely learned. He sees all material varieties as meaningless because their basic principle is nescience.
The king is the Supreme Lord. The king, directly the Supreme Lord, the master of the three worlds, Trayadisha, unchanging Kutastha, is Antaryami, Paramatma. He has appeared as a portion of Supreme Lord. Kalaya Avatirna is a Kala incarnate expansion of Supreme Lord. In him, the sages see that the appearance of variety created by ignorance is meaningless. Yasmin pashyati nanatvam pratitam avidya rachitam nirartakam. Basically, the sages see that he is the Supreme Lord and everything is his own manifestation. They see everything as his own energies. They see everything in connection to Supreme Lord and see him as the Supreme Lord. So saying something, okay, this is Lord's and this is mine, such kind of distinction is useless. So such kind of conclusion the sages will come to. So in that way. In the Lord, the sages present see variety made of ignorance to be meaningless or insubstantial. Like variety in a dream perceived by the imposition of gross, subtle bodies on the jiva. So like that. So basically, all the great sages see the Supreme Lord as the one Supreme Lord manifested in this world, and everything is non-different from him because everything is manifestation of his own Shakti. That is the kind of understanding the Supreme Lord has. The sages have. Arte hi avidyamanephi samsmatirna nivartate manasa linga rupena swapne vicharato yata. The similar verse comes in 4th canto 29th chapter text number 35, which says, though suffering does not really exist, samsara will never cease as long as the conception of suffering continues. Just as the suffering in a dream will never cease for the jiva wandering about with the covering of the mind, as long as the identities with the dream. So basically, in a dream, we see that a tiger is chasing us. Even when you come out of the dream, just example that in a dream we may see some unpalatable dream. The dream is continuing. As long as we are continuing in the dream, as long as one is suffering in the dream, one considers, I am going through misery, I am going through misery, I am going through misery. So the misery will never end. The only way to end the misery is come out of the dream. When we come out of the dream, we will end the misery. So in that way. Same way, just like the dream world is considered to be illusory, only the real world is true. In the same way, the sages will see only the Supreme Lord is truth. Then whatever there is in this world, even the Supreme Lord of is in that Supreme Lord's spiritual abode, one sees everything as Lord's property and Lord's offering. Other than that, it's very difficult. So basically, this is one particular in connection to the jnanis. The jnanis generally see that this variety has no meaning, and the Lord is one. The absolute truth is one, and everything is expansion. Sarvam kalam idam Brahma. At the same time, so he said that the Lord is one, and Lord those who are the Lord is one. Lord's potencies are one. The potencies transform and expand in the form of the material world. So in that way, they belong to Supreme Lord. So Kala Kramena, in due course of time, many things have changed. So many rules have come, and so many things happened. So in that way. So basically, one category people, how does he take care of them? How others will reciprocate with him? The yogis see him as the supreme Brahman and is spread everywhere as his own energy. And he does not see anything separate from him. So like that. So Swapna, for that Swapna, there is an example quote from fourth canto. Basically, the nature of jnanis is to see this material world like a dream. When you come out of the dream, you have a small experience of the dream, small knowledge of the dream. But you understand that dream is the unreal and the wakeful world is the real thing. Same way, the Supreme Lord is real. The variety which is seen separate from the Supreme Lord is like a dream. So they generally consider that this material world is like a dream. Don't be attached to the dream world. The real world is the spiritual abode where the Supreme Lord is eternally. That is understanding. So that was the one section where the wonderful qualities of the king are there. King Pruthu are there. Now the next section, the wonderful activity this King Pruthu performed during his lifetime. Few important activities. Based on those activities, I will ask some questions. The answer as an answer to all these questions, the elaborate explanation of this thing is given in the future chapters. Ayambugo mandalam odayadre
Ayam Bhugo
Ayam Odayadrer
Gopte Kaviro Naradevanathah
Goptaikaviro Naradevanathah
Astaya Chaitram Ratamatachapah
Astaya Jaitram Ratamat
Paryashyate Dakshinato Yatarkaha.
Yashyate Dakshino Yatarkaha. The king, being uniquely powerful and heroic, will have no competitor. He will travel around the globe on his victorious chariot, holding his invincible bow in his hand and appearing exactly like the sun, which rotates in its own orbit from the south.
The most heroic protector, the King of Kings, situated on his victory chariot with bow in hand, will circumambulate the whole earth clockwise from the sunrise mountain like the sun. So basically here, the entire Bhumandala is under the rule of King Pruthu. Once in a while, he will travel all over the Bhumandala just like the sun travels all over the Bhumandala. So like that. His victory chariot will travel all over the Bhumandala to make sure that Dharma is prevailing everywhere. No one is following Adharma. So in that way. He will travel clockwise, expanding up to Sunrise Mountain. Starting from Sunrise Mountain, going all around and comes back. He will travel all over the Bhumandala, just like sun is traveling all over Bhumandala every day. So based that indicates that he is ruling over the Bhumandala, entire Bhumandala, and he does not stay in his capital and let rule happen everywhere like that. No, frequently will travel all over the Bhumandala also. So like that. अस्मै नृपाला किल तत्र तत्र
अस्मै नृपाला किल तत्र तत्र
बलिं हरिष्यन्ति स लोकपाला
बलिं हरिष्यन्ति स लोकपालः
मंस्यन्त एषां स्त्रिय आदिराजम्
अंश्यन्त येषां स्त्रिय आदिराजम्
चक्रायुधं तद्यश उद्धरन्त्यः
चक्रायुधं तत् यस्य उदरन्त्यः. When the king travels all over the world, other kings as well as the demigods will offer him all kinds of presentations. Their queens will also consider him the original king who carries in his hands the emblems of club and disc and will sing of his fame, for he will be as reputable as the supreme personality of Godhead.
Everywhere the kings along with the devatas will offer tribute. The previous verse talked about he will travel on a chariot starting from the eastern mountain, going all around, all over the Bhumandala. While he goes, the kings coming out of their palace, coming out of their kingdom, they'll offer obeisances and they will have a tribute and they will take his shelter. And their wives glorify his fame. The kings will come and offer tribute, and the queens will come perform arati and glorify his wonderful glories. And will understand that Pruthu with his chakra is the first king, Adi Raja. And both the king and queen will glorify him as the Adi Raja, the original Raja, the first king, special king, Samrat, Chakravarti of the entire Bhumandala. So those glories are sung by the king and kings and queens. So in that way. The wives glorify him, will know him as the first king. Though the wives may say that my husband is a king, but is a small king, and you are the Chakravarti Samrat, you are the monarch, you are the king of the entire Bhumandala. It's like that they glorify. But anyway, the Supreme Lord, they will glorify him in that regard. So, in that way. So then further continues. And Matlab, the previous two verses talked about, though he was a king, he does not keep quiet in his palace. He keeps traveling all over. While he is traveling, everyone surrenders to him by paying the tribute, and the queens will come and glorify and accept him as their Maharaja. So in that way. Ayam mahim gam dududedi rajaha.
Ayam mahim gam dudukedi rajaha.
Prajapratirvattikara prajanam.
Prajapatir vrittikara prajanam.
Yo leelayadrin swashara sakotya.
Yo leelayadrin svasarasha kotya.
Bindan samam gam karodyatendra.
Vindan samam gam akarod yatendraha. This king, this protector of the citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to the Prajapati demigods. For the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth, which is like a cow. Not only that, but he will level the surface of the earth with the pointed ends of his bow, breaking all the hills exactly as King Indra, the heavenly king, breaks mountains with his powerful thunderbolt.
Yeah, the next activity of king is mentioned here. Just as Indra easily broke the mountains with the tip of his bow, Swasharasa Kotya, Danush Kotya, he also broke the mountains and leveled the earth. We will see in the future chapters. So mountain has completely uneven, low and highs were there. By the request of Mother Earth, he will level the Mother Earth. He will cut the mountains and fill the holes so that the surface of the earth will become leveled, so that water can be preserved and agriculture can be done. Otherwise, because of the up and downs, the water will be going to ocean wastedly, and either water would be staying at small wells at one place. We level that so that people do agriculture. The king of kings, master of the citizens, the provider of the maintenance, milked the earth as a cow. He also, in order to provide food for all the living entities, he milked Mother Earth in the form of a cow. So, hearing this, Vidura will ask some questions, and future chapters will elaborate on this particular activity. How did the woman glorify Pruthu? 4 verses answer. The verses are in the past tense. So, what were the glories of the woman in the previous verse mentioned? So, some set of activities are mentioned now. So, one of the glorification that the queens do is, oh my dear king, you will level the earth by breaking the mountains and filling the holes, and you will milk Mother Earth in the form of a cow for providing food for all the living entities, all the variety of living entities. We will see one whole chapter is all about milking this earth. It is there. Just as Indra broke mountains with the tip of his bow, Pruthu did the same and milked the earth. Vispurjayan ajagavam dhanusvayam.
Vishpurjaya
Vispurjayantajagavam tanu swayam.
Yada charat kmam avisayamajo.
Yada charat kshamam avishayamajo.
Tada nililyor dishi dishyashanto.
Tadanini dishidishya santo.
Langulam udyamya yata mrugendraha.
Langulam ujyamya yata mrugendraha. It is very appropriate to compare a powerful king like Pruthu to a lion. In Indra, Kshatriya kings are still called Singh. In India, Kshatriya kings are still called Singh, which means lion. Unless rogues, thieves, and other demoniac people in a state are afraid of the executive head who rules the kingdom with a strong hand, there cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. Thus, it is most regrettable when a woman becomes the executive head instead of lying like king. In such a situation, the people are considered very unfortunate.
When he traveled the earth during battle, twanging his irresistible bow, made of cow and goat horn, given by Varuna, like a lion with a raised tail, the sinful fled away in all directions. In the previous verse, he said that he was traveling all over the surface of the earth, like the sun is traveling starting from east, and the kings would come and offer tribute, and the queens would offer glorify. The what queens offer glorification? The one verse is that he leveled the earth, cutting the mountains, and he milked the earth in order to provide the maintenance of all the people. The next glorification, the queens are saying that when an envious king does not surrender to him, just by the clanging of his irresistible bow, it made uh, uh, the sinful people fled away in all directions. Just by making the twanging of the bow, people would be afraid and go away. Like that. Because this bow is made up of cow and goat horn, and it was given by Varuna. It is so powerful. And while he was doing all this, he looked like a lion with a raised tail. Lion with a raised tail is about to jump. It is ready to jump. That is the way he disposes himself when some envious king does not surrender to him. Just as a lion walking about with raised tail, Pruthu wandered the earth, twanging his bow, ready to pounce upon if somebody does not follow dharma, does not surrender, or something like that. So these words are spoken by the queens only. Esho Shwamedan Shatamajahara.
Yesho Swamedan Satamajahara.
Saraswati Pradurabaviyatraha.
Saraswati Pradurabavi Yatra.
Aharshidhyasya Hayam Purandara.
Aharshit Hayam Purandaraha.
Shatakratuscharame Vartamane.
Sata Krituscharame Vartamane. At the source of the river Saraswati, this king will perform 100 sacrifices known as Ashwamedha. In the course of the last sacrifice, the heavenly king Indra will steal the sacrificial horse.
The king performed 100 horse sacrifices, where the Saraswati river appeared. So on the bank of Mother Saraswati river, the king will perform 100 sacrifices. It is spoken in the past tense, means it is already over. By the time the king would go to, when the queens were offering obeisances, offering praises, all these activities are already done. So in that way, it is being said. So the king already performed 100 sacrifices on the bank of the Saraswati river. During the last sacrifice, Indra, the king and master of heaven and the performer of 100 sacrifices, stole the horse. Of course, he did 100 sacrifices, but during the 100th one, Indra stole the horse. They are telling in the past tense, but that is being told by the gods that in the future, after you perform 100 sacrifices, during which the 100 sacrifice, the Indra will steal the horse. Afterwards, you travel all over the world. That time, the queens will glorify what you have done. So, in that way, you have to see. Eshaswadam Eshaswasanmo Pavane Sametya
Eshasvasadmo pavane sametya
Sanat Kumaram Bhagavantamekam
sanat kumaram bhagavantam ekam
Aradhya Bhaktya Labhatamalam Taj
आराध्य भक्त्या लभतामलं तज
Jnanam Yeto Brahma Param Vidanti
ज्ञानं यतो ब्रह्म परं विदन्ति. The King Pruthu will meet Sanat Kumara, one of the 4 Kumaras, in the garden of his palace compound. The king will worship him with devotion and will be fortunate to receive instructions by which one can enjoy transcendental bliss.
Meeting the great Sanat Kumara alone in his palace garden and worshipping him with devotion, Pruthu attained spotless knowledge by which the yogis know the Supreme Brahman. So, and also Maharaj Pruthu will meet the great Sanat Kumara and he will worship him with great devotion, and Sanat Kumara will award him transcendental knowledge, by which what kind of knowledge will attain? By that knowledge, the yogis in general know the Supreme Brahman. The knowledge of absolute truth will be presented to him by Sanat Kumara. So that is what is going to happen in the future is also being mentioned. Tatra tatra girastasta
Tatra tatra girastasta
iti vishruta vikramaha
iti vishruta vikramaha
shrosyati atma shrita gata
sroshyati atma shrita gata
prutu parakramaha.
Pruthu parakramaha. In this way, when the chivalrous activities of King Pruthu come to be known to the people in general, King Pruthu will always hear about himself and his uniquely powerful activities.
Thus, here and there, with various words of this sort, Pruthu, oh famous courage and great strength, Pruthu of famous courage and great strength, will hear songs that they skillfully composed. So, wherever King Pruthu would travel, the ladies will compose songs and glorify. Just like Vrindavan, every day when Krishna goes to forest, taking the cows and cowherd boy, they perform wonderful pastimes. While coming back, the boys would compose songs and sing, and the ladies would hear those songs. The next day, whole day, the ladies would change those songs and better improve their quality and other their lyrics and all, and they compose their own songs and glorify the activities of Lord Krishna. That's how they would spend their days. Same way, wherever King Pruthu would go to different places, The different queens would compose different songs and glorify the different wonderful activities of King Pruthu. Like that. In various places, famous words will be spoken by these women. Atma Shrita means stories told by their own skills. The verbs are in past tenses. When the ladies glorified King Pruthu, when the ladies glorified the King Pruthu, the events are already past, already occurred. The bards indicate in advance. So in that way, like the bards are glorifying now, saying that in the future, after 20 years, you will travel all over the surface of the earth, and during which the ladies will glorify whatever you have done in these 20 years, whatever wonderful activities you have done in these 20 years. They will compose different songs and glorify all your activities and wonderful qualities, characteristics, etc., etc., etc. So what is going to do, what will happen to in relation to with respect to other people, everything is being informed in advance. This is the great. दिशो विजित्या प्रतिरुद्ध चक्रः
दिशो विजित्या प्रतिरुद्धचक्रः
स्वतेजसोत्पाटितलोकशल्यः
स्वतेजासोत्पतीत लोकसल्या
सुरासुरेन्द्रैरुपगीयमाना
सुरासुरेन्द्रैरुपगीयमाना
महानुभावो भवितापतिर्भुवा
महानुभावो भविता पतिर्भुवः. No one will be able to disobey the orders of Prithu Maharaja. After conquering the world, he will completely eradicate the threefold miseries of the citizens. Then he will be recognized all over the world. At that time, both the Suras and the Asuras will undoubtedly glorify his magnanimous activities.
Conquering the directions, having unchecked power, uprooting the miseries of the people by his prowess, and glorified by the leaders of the devatas and demons, he will become a leader of great authority. The entire world, the entire Bhumandala is under his rule. His power no one can check, and no one in his kingdom is miserable. And then he is glorified by all rulers of both devatas, demoniac, everyone will glorify him. And the result of that, he will become the greatest of authority. So in that way. So this is how in this chapter, these people, bards, have offered the wonderful glories of King Pruthu. What is going to do in the future are already indicated by the bards. The bards say that we are not speaking all these words. The great sages entering us, they are speaking. It is not our fault. Like that, they are submissively presenting the wonderful qualities and activities of King Pruthu. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, chapter is verse number 10, purport. It's saying that there is a predominating deity for all the material elements, and Varuna or Prachetas is the predominating deity of the seas and the ocean. So, Prachetas is the predominating deity of the seas, Prabhuji, and Varuna
No,
or
not, it is not Prachetas, Prachetasa. That is Varuna's one other name is Prachetasa.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can you repeat it?
Prachetasa. Varuna has many names. One among them is Prachetasa.
But Pracheta बोल के लिखा हुआ है इसलिए.
Of course. So Prabhupada might be writing like that, or it could be some mistake, but it is supposed to be Prachetasa. Varuna's another name. Varuna is the king of the ocean.
Those Prachetas are different.
So those Prachetas are not the devatas. The Prachetas are kings only, not human kings.
Okay.
But Varuna is the devata, is the lord of the oceans.
Okay, so one of the name of Varuna is Prachetas. So.
No, Prachetasa.
प्रचेतास ओके ठीक है प्रभु जी ओके प्रभु जी समझ थैंक यू प्रभु जी
Any other questions from any other devotees? Okay.
Okay.
So in the next chapter, there are questions asked by Vidura. So as an answer to those questions, Maitreya will continue elaborating what are being told by the bards. So Pruthu chastised the earth. Under what conditions the Pruthu milked and leveled the earth? So this is the question for which the answer will be there in 17 and 18 chapters. So in that way it is being continued. In the 17th chapter, when starving people begged him for food, Pruthu catches the earth who had seized everything, and in fight, the earth praises Pruthu. So why Pruthu milked Mother Earth? Why Pruthu leveled the earth? That will be answered now. It is a little bigger chapter. We'll just see the questions today. I'm also a little busy to travel. So afterwards, we will continue in the next week. We'll try to see the question alone, the question asked by the people. I think until okay, up to 11th verse. See, we'll see. Few verses we'll see for some time. Then we'll stop for today. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
एवं स भगवान वैन्या
एवं स भगवान् वैन्यः
ज्ञापितो गुणकर्मभिः
ज्ञापितो गुणकर्मभिः
चन्दयाम् आसतां कामैस्
चन्दयाम् आसतान् कामैः
प्रतिपूज्याभिमन्द्य च
प्रतिपूज्याभिनन्द्य च. The great sage Maitreya continued, in this way, the reciters who were glorifying Maharaj Pruthu readingly described his qualities and chivalrous activities. At the end, Maharaj Pruthu offered them various presentations with all due respect and worshipped them adequately.
Glorified by the reciters, King Pruthu then satisfied them with gifts after worshipping and glorifying them. So once the bards have completed their glorification, Pruthu offered them wonderful gifts for their satisfaction and bade farewell to everyone. Brahmana Pramukhan Varnan.
Brahmana
Brahmanan Varnan
Vrutya Matya Purodasaha.
Vritya Matya Purodasaha
Pauran Janapadan Se Shreni.
Pauranjana Padan Shreni
Prakriti Samapujayat.
Prakriti Samapujayat. King Pruthu thus satisfied and offered all respect to all the leaders of the Brahmanas and the other caste, to his servants, to his ministers, and to his priests, citizens, general countrymen, people from other communities, admirers, and others. And thus they all became happy.
Pruthu respected the leading Brahmanas, the other castes, other Varnas, Madhab Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra also. His servants and ministers, Bhrutya and Amatya, priests, city people, countrymen, tradesmen, and employees. So whoever was there in the assembly, everyone received some gift from Pruthu because Pruthu received gifts from them and he in turn gave them some gift. Shrenihi refers to sellers of oil and betel and others. Prakriti means employed persons. So everyone was happy by King Pruthu. He respected them all, saying sweetly, blessings to you. If I protect you, I'll be serving you. He will be telling all the citizens and all, if I protect you, that is my service unto you as a king. So like that, he assured everyone that I'll take care of you. So in that way. So this is how the coronation ceremony of King Pruthu was completed. So now Vidura is raising his hand. My dear sir, please, I want to know what happened, why things are happening like this, how things have happened, etc. etc. Vidura uvacha.
Vidura uvacha
Kasmadadara gorupam
kasmaddadara gorupam
dharitri bahurupini
dharitri bahurupini
yam dudoha prutustatra
yam dudoha prutustatra
kovasto dohanam chakim.
Ovatso dohanam chakri. Vidura inquired from the great sage Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, since Mother Earth can appear in different shapes, why did she take the shape of a cow? And when King Pruthu milked her, who became the calf? And what was the milking part?
Yeah, now the question is, why did the earth, who takes many forms, whom Pruthu milked, take the form of cow? Who is the calf? And what was the milk part? So now the question is, Mother Earth could have taken any other form. Why she took Mother Cow's form? And how did Pruthu milk her? Who is the calf and what is the water part, milk part, etc. etc. These are the questions. You said something, but it's not complete. Please tell everything. Say that way. I am Mahingam Dududedi Raja. So in the previous chapter, they said that he milked the earth as a cow. So for that, keep remembering that, he's asking this question. Prakritya Vishma Devi.
Prakrutya Bhisma Devi
Krita Tena Samachata.
Sita Tena Samakatham
Tasya Medyam Hayam Deva.
Tasya Medhyam Hayam Deva
Kasya Hetor Apaharat.
Pasya Hetur Apaharat. Translation. The surface of the earth is by nature low in some places and high in others. How did King Pruthu level the surface of earth? And why did the king of heaven, Indra, steal the horse meant for the sacrifice?
Yeah. One question was that why Mother Earth took the form of cow and how did Pruthu milk the cow? Next question is, how did Pruthu make flat the uneven earth? How did he do it? Of course, you have already told Dhanushkot is a Kiya. He did it with the tip of the bow, but how exactly it happened? Why did Indra steal the sacrificial horse? When Pruthu was performing 100 sacrifices during the 100th one, Indra stole the horse. Why? That is also another question. Yoli Layadrin Swasarasa Kotya Sarasya Kotya Bhinnadrak. Just as Indra easily broke the mountains, Lilaya Adrin Vindam, with the tip of his bow, he also broke the mountains and leveled the earth. Sometime back, long back, Indra broke the wings of all the mountains. The mountains have wings, they would fly anywhere and everywhere. The sages are getting troubled by the moving mountains. So they informed Indra. Indra accepted. So just as Indra easily broke the mountains, King Pruthu also broke the mountains and leveled the earth. Why and how? That is the question. During the last sacrifice, Indra, the king and master of the heaven and performer of 100 sacrifices, stole the horse. That was mentioned in the previous chapter. The question is why? Why Indra stole the horse, especially during the 100 sacrifice. So these are the few questions which needed elaborate explanation to understand the answer. So now next question. Sanat Kumarat Bhagavato.
Sanat Kumarat Bhagavato.
Brahman Brahma Viduttama.
Brahman Brahma Viduttamat.
Labdva Jnanam Savijnanam.
Labdva Jnanam Savijnanam. Rajarshihi Kam Gatim Gataha. The great saintly king Maharaj Pruthu received knowledge from Sanat Kumara, who was the greatest Vedic scholar. After receiving knowledge to be applied practically in his life, how did the saintly king attain his desired destination?
O Brahmana, after obtaining knowledge and realization from Sanat Kumara, the great knower of Brahman, what destination did King Pruthu receive? You said he received the This is also another question. Sanat Kumaram Bhagavatam Ekam Aradhya Bhaktya Labha Atma Amalanta. So in the way. Now the last queries of Vidura. Echanyat api Krishnasya.
Yachanyatapi Krishnasya
Bhavan Bhagavata Prabho.
Bhavan Bhagavata Prabho
Shrava Sushrava Punyam.
Shrava Sushravasha Punyam
Purvadeha Katashrayam.
Purvadeha Katashrayam
Vaktum Arhasyo Duhyat.
Bhaktya me Anurakya Tava
Chadoshakshaja cha. Tava Chadokshajasya cha.
Tava Chadoksha Jasya Cha
Vaktum Arhasyo Duhyat.
Vaktum Arhasiyo Duhyat
Vainya Rupena Gamimam.
Vainya Rupena Gam Imam. Pruthu Maharaja was a powerful incarnation of Lord Krishna's potencies. Consequently, any narration concerning his activities is surely very pleasing to hear, and it produces all good fortune. As far as I am concerned, I am always your devotee as well as the devotee of the Lord, who is known as Adokshasa. Please therefore narrate all the stories of King Pruthu, who in the form of the son of King Vena milked the cow-shaped earth.
You should speak to me, attached to hearing, devoted to you and the Lord, concerning the person who milked the earth in the form of Pruthu. So basically, still in that, my dear great sage Maitreya, kindly speak about King Pruthu who milked the earth. I am very much interested in hearing about him. And also other pure famous topics related to the previous birth of the Supreme Lord Krishna. That means Pruthu is an expression of Supreme Lord, is one of the avatars. So speak about Pruthu and speak about all other avatars of Supreme Lord. I am always eager to hear about the wonderful pastimes of the different avatars of the Supreme Lord. So please understand my eagerness and speak more and more. Like that, he is enthusing the king, enthusing the speaker, so that the speaker can present in great detail. When the hearer is enthusiastic, the speaker will present the great details. So like that. So whatever the forecast, the future forecast that the bards sang, from that he picked up few things which needed an elaborate explanation, and he asked. So for which the future chapters will reveal the entire thing all the way up to 23rd chapter. The glories of Pruthu Maharaj will be narrated. 17, 18 will talk about why and how he milked the earth. 17, 18. 19, 20 will talk about why Indra stole the horse and how 100 sacrifices were completed. And then one chapter talks about Sanat Kumara speaking knowledge to King Pruthu. And one chapter talks about King Pruthu will speaking to the citizens, requesting them to practice dharma, bhakti, etc. And finally, 23rd chapter talks about Pruthu Maharaj attaining complete perfection, going back to that. Chapter 17 to chapter 23, there is an elaborate discussion about King Pruthu, which we will see elaborately in the upcoming classes. So today we'll stopping here. Hare Krishna. Next week we'll continue with all the answers.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.